So, I want to introduce Brandon Johns and Mr. Sam right over here. You guys are business partners, correct?
Yep.
Yes?
Met in
Awesome.
Mississippi State. Yep.
I watch their videos online. I'm just going to say y'all are fun. So, anyway.
Huh? You guys have a podcast? Yeah, we're working on the podcast right now. It's called Late Night Sessions. Late Night Sessions. There'll be one out today, actually.
And Sam likes to
That's
dance. Just saying.
I'll actually write that down.
I like to get crazy. I like to have.
Yeah, you'll be
Yes.
able to, like, if you follow us on Instagram, like, you'll be able to, like, we post everything on there.
That's a good plug. I'll follow you.
Yeah. So they're going to talk to you a little bit about their story, tell you a little bit about them, what they've been doing, what they are doing, what they're planning on doing, all that great stuff, because they got a lot going on. And so, go for it. Take it away. Yeah.
Yeah, so before I get into, like, college and stuff, I mean, I've always kind of been, like, into business, figuring out, like, the art of the deal, basically. And I guess it started 4th grade. I actually got it. I found silly bands. You guys remember silly bands?
Yes.
Yeah, like the animals, like the little bands, right? So that's my first experience, like entrepreneurship. Is in 4th grade, I sold like silly bands to like all my classmates, and in that same day, my principal like came knocking on my door, and like pulled me out of class, and like I made like $50 in a day, and like for a 4th grader, I was like, let's go, you know, and so. I got to, like, she pulled me out and said, you can't do that, and she, like, took the money away from me, like, had to give it back, and I got, like, half my silly bands back, so that's, like, a terrible experience, you know, for entrepreneurship. But that's, like, my first kind of taste of it, I guess, is what I remember. But that's the kind of thing I started with doing, and it's all kind of been just, you know, buying and selling stuff is for the longest time is what I've been into. And coming into high school, freshman year, I wanted to have I don't know if you guys know this, you probably don't, because I've been out here for 2 years, but there's a summer high school fishing team. I started the fishing team with one of my friends, and so I was really big into fishing coming into high school and stuff, and so I wanted to have like a fishing brand, like clothing brand, and so I kind of came upon that, and it's called Lunker Lifestyle. I made it. It's no longer like up and running, but I found this website called Teespring. And the website allowed me to create t-shirts and like clothing with my designs on them and stuff like that, and be able to put them out there without having to have any inventory. So like a lot of, you know, like t-shirts you have to buy like a lot of pieces, 50, 100 pieces or whatever, hold inventory, so it's an upfront cost. And really like with my Lunker Lifestyle business, I didn't have to like hold any inventory. And so I just kind of started it, made a Twitter account, whatever, and like ran with it. But I sold like, you know, 60 shirts, like pretty great, you know, just engaging on Twitter and stuff. And then that kind of led to, okay, what else can I make with these shirts, right? What can I do with this website where it's like literally free to make shirts and put them out there, and then they just make the shirts, ship it to the customer, and I don't have to worry about a thing. That kind of led into Wilco Wear. So what I did was sophomore year, I made this Twitter account called Wilco Wear. And what I did was I put Summit High School was on the front of the shirt. I made this shirt, Summit High School. On the back it said like, the squad lives here, right? And I was like, this is something that I could advertise to all my friends in school, right? But I didn't make it to where it was Wilco Wear. No one knew I was doing it because I didn't want that to like, you know, change whether or not people were gonna buy my shirt. So I went to like the Summit High School student section Twitter account, tried to get them to retweet it, all kinds of stuff, and ended up like selling like 100 shirts. And then I was like, man, this is crazy. I didn't even have to pay for inventory, right? And no one even knew I did it, whatever. And it was so crazy because I would be walking like in school and stuff, and then like in a couple weeks, I started seeing everybody wearing my shirts. And so that was pretty cool. But then I was like, man, I could do this for every single school in Wilco. And so went out and made like, you know, an independent shirt, did like Indie Nation, and then on the back, and this is terrible with like a Summit student, right? On the back it said, the laughing stock of Wilco. So, and it sold. I mean, it sold. But that's why it was good I didn't have my name behind it. But I can just say it now. I don't care. They did like a Brentwood shirt or whatever, Ravenwood. Those didn't sell as much. Obviously, the Summit one was the best because I just kind of knew the market. So then that kind of led to, and that's what I like to call print on demand. Is really it's just the other third parties like this Teespring website. Basically, what they do is since I made my shirt with them, like just mocked it up online, basically like any other t-shirt place, they'll handle like making it and shipping it out. So that's print on demand. They print it when the order is placed. And so I kind of learned with that, with those experiences. And then I came and made, with that print on demand, I got into drop shipping. It's kind of a similar thing, right? Do you guys know what drop shipping is? Have you heard of it?
Heard the word.
A little bit, yeah. It's kind of like a popular thing. Like if you're into like making money or whatever on Instagram, like if you look at stuff on YouTube or whatever, you'll start to get ads. People will be like, "You want to make money on my," you know, like that kind of thing. But drop shipping is kind of like print on demand. Drop shipping is where you take products from other websites and you market those products, and then when they buy it, you just send them the product from that website. So I started doing it on eBay. It's kind of like a spin-off of print on demand, but I would go and screenshot a Bed Bath & Beyond product, right? And then I'd copy the description and I'd put it on eBay. And I would mark the price up like 140%. So like I'd make like 40%, you know? And I did that, started selling some stuff randomly. I was like, how in the world are people going on eBay paying like 140% more than a product on like Bed Bath & Beyond, and they're just buying it off eBay and wanting me to ship it to them? So what I would do is they pay me for it. I'd go log into Bed Bath & Beyond, put in their shipping details, and send it right to them. So then from that, I was like, man, like there's so much opportunity on the internet. And this was still while I was in high school, like junior year, I was doing that. And that kind of led to me getting into actually building my own store. And this was, I graduated high school, and in the summer I was like, I want to go all in and try to see if I can build my own like drop shipping store and make a bunch of money. I was like, I'm gonna make so much money doing it, right? And I made this business called Sandy Thoughts. What a great name, right? And it was women's clothing. I was like, so many women buy stuff online, clothes, bikinis, whatever. So I think that's gonna be great, right? June, I make Sandy Thoughts. And made an Instagram. I actually documented this, and I found the document like last night when I was kind of looking through my things, and I like wrote down all the stuff I'd tried and like what I had done and the kind of results that it gave me. And I said, Instagram, 60 followers, right? So I was like, man, that's great, 60 followers. And then I spent like $100 on like Facebook ads, and that was the first time I'd ever gotten into Facebook ads, paying for, you know, doing social paid advertising. And wrote kind of down like some things, and it was like really basic stuff that I know like so much more now, but it was just kind of funny to look back and see how like the beginning knowledge that I had, like, there was nothing there. And one other thing that I wrote down was I tried to do sales reps. So basically I'd get people on Instagram to, I'd give them like a discount code. I'd say, hey, I'll give you a discount code. If someone uses that discount code, I'll give you commission. So that was my first kind of like start. That was my idea of like, okay, that's a pretty good way to market it, right? So I wrote that down, ended up getting like one sale through Instagram, and it was like an $80 sale. And these were like bikinis, you know, like dresses. Like, do you guys know like Shein? Do you guys know Shein?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So like that's basically me, right? But Sandy Thoughts on like a whole nother like way lower level. But it's just like those products, dresses, rompers, two pieces, all that kind of stuff. And made like one sale and ended up not getting a sale for a couple weeks later. And then I was going to Mississippi State, and I was like, okay, let me just cut this off because I had to pay like $30 a month. I didn't have much cash in my bank account. So I was like, let me just stop this. So I stopped it, and I was like negative $66 is what I wrote down in my like notebook. So from that, I didn't think I was gonna get back into drop shipping. And I didn't think I was gonna like, I got a little experience with Facebook ads, and I went to Mississippi State because I was interested in entrepreneurship. That's like, my options were Alabama, Tennessee, like, you know, I wanted to go to SEC school because I was like, I want the SEC experience, you know, football. My older brother, he went to Alabama, and so he had like the great football experience, obviously. And so I was like, I want that too, you know? So I went to like, visited all the colleges, and I saw that I wanted to find a program that had like some kind of entrepreneurship resources, and I found Mississippi State. I don't know how, like, so I just went down to Starkville, and like, if you guys haven't been to Starkville, it's like 30,000 people, that's the population, and like Spring Hill is 30,000 people. And I think that population like calculates, like it accounts for the student population. So student population is like, I think undergrad, what is it, like 20, 18? Yeah, so it's really small. And like Spring Hill is like, I come back home and I'm like, yes, I love Cool Springs, Brentwood, like this is amazing. I want to live here when I get older, right? And so, but I went down to Starkville and I saw they had an entrepreneurship center. And like, it's so cool. Like I walked into the business college and it's right to the left and it's like this all huge glass like room, like it's all glass walls. People are writing on the walls with like dry erase markers like on the windows and stuff. Like mapping out there's like Macs everywhere and just like super cool. Like I was like, yes, innovation, like this is it. And another great thing is like, okay, cool, the aesthetics is great, but they also had a lot of opportunity with like funding. They give you like, you go and you have just a business idea. Like I know you guys are working on like business plans right now, right? You could take all your business ideas and your business plans and you don't even need a business plan to start at the Entrepreneurship Center in Mississippi State. You could start with just the idea, make a, what was it, like a 5 or 6 page pitch deck.
5-page, yeah.
You talk about problem that you've identified, your solution, some competitors, and that's about it, really. With the pitch deck, it's 5 minutes. So I started out, I was like, all right, fall, I'm gonna just get in here and dive in. I tried to think of an idea. I was like, I want to create something. With my roommate, I made like an app idea. It was like some kind of, like basically Tinder. You guys know Tinder? It's like you swipe left and right or whatever for like if you like people or not. And it's like a dating app. But I was like, this would be cool for like businesses, websites, like clothing and like all kinds of businesses. Like if you go to an area, you could say like, you swipe left, like you don't like that, don't like this. And then it like basically, you know, based on your interests, it gives you the stuff that you like and you can shop on that app. That was like my idea. I didn't follow through with that, but I went and I was like, okay, let me go and pitch this thing. I want to go and try to just get started with the Entrepreneurship Center. So I pitched it, made this 5-slide deck, pitched it, it was a great experience, didn't get the money, but I could have got $500, right? And that's $500, no strings attached, here you go, here's your check, get going with it. But I then met this girl, Madison, in the Entrepreneurship Club. So there's Entrepreneurship Center, that's where you build your businesses out of there. But then the Entrepreneurship Club is like kind of people that were interested in entrepreneurship, and it was kind of like separate from the Entrepreneurship Center. It was like really basic, like some people didn't even know anything about business or at all, right? And so I met this girl, she was a transfer student. It was her first year at Mississippi State. She was a junior technically, and she had this idea for like a coffee truck for football games. And at that point I was like, you know what, like cool, let's just go with it, right? And so I like bought into her vision, and she was like kind of serious about it, but kind of not that serious about it. And then I just came to her one day and I was like, hey, I signed you up for the pitch competition on Friday. And it was like the beginning of the week, and she was like all freaked out or whatever. But she ended up making the pitch deck and pitching the competition and got $500. Since then, we've gotten all the funding. You go like to another level, which is like, you know, a more in-depth pitch deck, and then the last level is like a complete business plan, complete financials, like 3 years. Like you have to go really in detail because you know they're going to give you more money and they want you to be a legit business, right? And so you can get up to $7,500 with the Entrepreneurship Center, and there's no strings attached. And so that's at Mississippi State, but there's a lot of options. Like I go to a lot of like there's a conference, a regional conference, entrepreneurship conference at UTC. For the Southeastern Conference, and they've got the same kind of opportunities there, which is funding with no strings attached. So a lot of the colleges that you're going to, and they're all like, if they don't have it, they're going to have it very soon, because that's just like the programs are moving in that direction. And so it's a really great opportunity, right? And so we've done that. Since then with coffee, we're now selling our coffee out of like the student union, so like by the Chick-fil-A's and stuff like that. We don't have our own like, you know, actual business there. It's not like our coffee stand basically, but we sell our coffee out of the like bakery, stuff like that, and online. That was a pretty cool deal because we did it with like Aramark, and they're like the head over so many colleges, and so it could lead to, you know, selling our coffee out of other colleges. But I didn't stop there because, you know, I don't even drink coffee. I don't really like coffee. Like Madison makes a great cup of coffee, and I'll drink it. It's, you know, semi-good because I don't like coffee. But but I was just kind of interested and wanted to get started. And so from that experience, I got me in the East Center, and it gave me a reason to like be in there and feel like I belonged, because at first I didn't have a business and I was just trying to meet people. And then I met my business partner, Calvin, and Sam at the Entrepreneurship Center there when I was kind of hanging out with the coffee. And they were Calvin, he had an app that he was about to go pitch the Angel Network. And the Angel Network is after you get to the $7,500 in funding, you can get up to $1 million. And that's like Shark Tank, right? So it's just like the Shark Tank. You go and pitch, you have your pitch thing, and you say for 25% of my company, I want $250,000 or whatever, right? And they can give you the money. And I've had like my friend just last week, he actually just got like $295,000 for like a really small percentage. I don't know what it was, and he's got an app idea, and I think it's gonna be pretty cool. But aside from that, Calvin was getting into that. He was basically ready to go with the Angel Network, and it kind of fell through. And he was about to graduate, and he ended up not being able to pitch the Angel Network. And then he had this business, and it was doing print on demand. And I was like, oh, I'm familiar with print on demand. And because I had done it, when I was a sophomore in high school, kind of experiencing with it. And Calvin was like making these hats, just like type of hats, but it was his own little store. It was called Thrive Island. And it was cool, print on demand, and I was at the beach. And I was like, it was kind of making some money. I wasn't a part of their business then. I was just kind of like outside watching it. It was him and his girlfriend that made the business. And I was at the beach, and I was talking to him on the phone. I was like, you know what you should do with Thrive Island is you should try drop shipping. And that's the thing I did with Sandy Thoughts, And so we were like, yeah, okay. He's like, what's drop shipping? I explained it to him, hyped him up, because, a lot of times you have to hype people up. He's easy to hype up, and it's good with that. So I really was just hyping him up on the beach. I was like, bro, we could be driving Lamborghinis, all this stuff. Like, it's gonna be amazing. Like, and just trying to get him hyped up. And then he was like, okay, well, you know about drop shipping, so let's go. Let's just do it. So I got home from the beach. This was in summer after my freshman year of college, and we got in. And I'm not kidding. This was the most I'd ever grinded. Like, when we started going in the summer. In May, it was like the last week of May, we built this drop shipping store. We added all the products, and we probably had like 100 products. It's pretty easy to add. It's not that like crazy. But when we were actually building it, is we would wake up in June, all of June, we would wake up at like 8 a.m. and I don't know how, it's like I almost had no other priorities. Like I had no other like things to do for some reason. I feel like I always have stuff to do. But I would just go from 8 a.m. and I'd be on the Zoom call. He would be in Starkville. I was not trying to be in Starkville. I didn't have an apartment, because I just got out of my dorm. And I was just sat at my house. We were on the Zoom calls, like Skype basically. And we would just work all day, like 8 a.m. to about 2 a.m. every single morning. And trying to figure out Facebook ads. Like we were just trying so hard to figure out Facebook ads, figure out how in the world all these other people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, some doing it a week. And we were just like, okay, there's no reason why we shouldn't be able to make money doing this. And in June, we ended up figuring out how to like scrounge basically $3,000 in sales on our business. And it was really from building the Instagram and going on our Instagram and going to hashtags. That's what we do, like literally all day, just sitting there, just hoping to get sales. Is we would go and we'd go into hashtags like Fashion Nova and stuff like that, like businesses, like kind of competitors and stuff. And we would go and comment on people that would tag those businesses. And we'd say, hey, we love, like you just try to get them to our page. And that worked for a little bit. We'd give them like really big discounts or whatever. And that worked for a little bit. $3,000 in sales, but we really were not even like making any money because the margins, like the product, we were giving such big discounts that we weren't making much money at all. And we're spending all of our money on ads. So we had like $1,000 when we started the business. And at the end of June, I like had to ask my dad for like $2,000 because I was like, this is gonna work. Like, just trust us. We've been putting in so much work. I was like, we have to just keep going. So I asked my dad for $2,000 just because we were basically broke and with our bank account. And so got the $2,000, and then started running Facebook ads for brand ambassadors. And so brand ambassadors, it's funny because I didn't think about it, but I saw it last night, is on my Sandy Thoughts I said, sales reps option did not work, sales rep marketing strategy did not work, which sales rep was what I was giving people discounts, their own discount codes with their name on it, on Instagram for them to give to their followers, and then they make commission off of that, their sales. I said that did not work. On my Sandy Thoughts, document of me just saying what I tried. We started running brand ambassadors, and from $3,000, which is we would run an ad, paid ad on Facebook, it would show up in your timeline, just like you see the sponsored ads now, and it's become a brand ambassador and be posted in front of hundreds of thousands of followers or whatever, thousands of followers, whatever we had then. It was we had 20,000 followers, but really we only had 1,000 followers because we bought 18,000 followers, right? And so we were get posted out there, and so we started running the brand ambassador ad. And they started that the first month of July, and we didn't really get much traction. But at the end of that first week in July, but at the end of that first week, we started getting traction. And then all of a sudden, at the end of July, we had $50,000 in sales. And we were like, what in the world has just happened? Brand ambassadors just worked. People wanted to be posted. People wanted the exposure. People want to be that influencer. And so we were like, okay, let's take a step back. We're not selling our clothes. We're selling the opportunity to be posted, to be out there, to say you're a part of something. So people were really buying into becoming an influencer. And so that kind of, that's what we kind of realized as we kept going, and we were able to just basically run the same ad and just keep running it. And the margins, $50,000 sounds great, right? It's a ton of money, and it went in and out of our account really fast because we would spend $400 a day on ads, and money would go out. We had to get a credit card. We still weren't able to get a credit increase, limit. It's really pain trying to get all that figured out, but we were able to just continue to do that. And we basically did $50,000 a month, every single month, until January this year is when we kind of stopped doing it. And that was all from just literally rinse and repeat, but we ran into a ton of customer service issues. So with drop shipping, it's your products are from China. So, and they're these great looking bikinis or whatever they look great, and our prices were I'm not kidding you, what is it, $60, $70 for a bikini? For a bikini that's from China that costs us $6 or $7, $5 total to ship it from China to the person's address. But it's because we made the prices so big that it made people think it's a premium brand, I'm paying for what I'm getting, right? But that's a mistake. It's a mistake, but it's also what helped us get a lot of sales, because people were well, they price these items this, they're obviously legit and great. But then when they started to get a bad batch, because we had to add products all the time, when they'd start to get a bad product, we would have to obviously take that product off the store, but it would be terrible. I'm talking the color would be the opposite. I'm sure you guys have seen whatever those post drop shipping things on Facebook or whatever, where it goes viral, this is what it was advertised, and then here's what we got. And it's just completely opposite, or a hole right in the middle of it. We were afraid we were gonna be one of those companies. So that was just some issues we ran into that. But then we took a step back. And so I say this because from sophomore year of high school, and I kind of just started to put the pieces together, is what the smallest thing that you're trying right now, whatever it is, I didn't have a business plan, I didn't have a pitch deck, I didn't have anything. I really just said, sophomore year of high school, I was oh, this is a cool website that I can make a free t-shirt on for myself, and then post it and sell it to people. I just made a Twitter account and just started going, right? And just said, well, how do I sell this thing? So the smallest things that you do, that built up to then learning print on demand, then trying drop shipping with myself on eBay, then trying it out with my own store, and then trying it with people that I met at Mississippi State, with the experiences that I had and then their experiences, and together we're able to do $50,000 in a month. And now what's great is we didn't make a ton of money at all doing that, because our margins were very thin, and but we're able to leverage that now.